Welcome back, everyone. This is Between Us Intimacy Unspoken. And in our last episode, we talk about mixed relationship, mixed race, mixed culture relationship, where everyone found it so hard to navigate through because we lost in translation. But today we have a very rare opportunity to talk with a person who lives through this, the child. And our special guest is Maya, a
Hi.
25 years old woman who have her mother is a Vietnamese American and her father is American. So Maya has been living in a household of mixed marriage, mixed race um, family, where English is the main language, right? And is kind of like the rhythm of the family. But also there is the outside is looking at her or projected.
Mm.
So in many way, I see you as a full American, and I also see that from the appearance itself, like yourself, you look somehow Asian. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that could be something that is very interesting for others to getting to know you.
Mhm.
And also at some point, I get to know that you also navigate your parents' divorce. So that is a lot of things to share there. So welcome, Maya.
Thank you so much. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to be here.
Yes, and so before we dive in, could you please share a little bit about yourself? Like, where did you grow up, and what would you share about your identity?
Hmm. Well, I grew up in California, Bay Area, so like an hour from San Francisco, which I feel like is a pretty diverse place.
Yeah.
So that helped a lot being like a mixed child. Um I but I'm definitely Americanized. I am very American. I don't speak Vietnamese, so English was the only language. Um And what else did you ask me?
How do you see yourself as your
Mm,
cultural
yeah.
identity?
I grew up, being mixed. I was very proud of both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously it shows up the most just in my appearance. That's how you
Yeah.
can tell. Because since I grew up in America, mostly with like the Western kind of culture, um, I don't really have a whole lot of the Vietnamese culture in me, I don't think. Um, but I love that I look, mixed and that you can tell that I'm not fully white. Um, yeah.
Yeah. So so do you ever get the question like, so what did you really,
Mm,
really, really, really come from?
right. Yeah, because I've had people be like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from California," or "Oh, I'm from the Bay Area." And they're like, "No, like, where are you from?" And I'm like,
Mm.
"Oh, my ethnicity? Like, that's what
Mm-hmm,
you wanna
mm-hmm.
know?" And I mean, I don't mind that question at all. Like, I kind of already have the idea because 'cause I've been asked that so many
Oh, right,
times
yeah.
that I already kind of
I can
know,
tell.
and I kinda give them a hard time too. I'm like, "I'm from California," and then I know they're gonna ask the next question. I'm like, "Yeah, I know." It doesn't bother me though, because like I said, I like looking mixed and I like kinda keeping people confused or, like, intrigued with, like, "Oh, like,
Mm.
who is she?" or "What is she? Why does she look like that?" But yeah, I get that question all the time.
And then, so beside your look, what is the Vietnamese part that reached you?
Honestly, the biggest part and I think the easiest part for anyone is the food.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I grew up, eating the food, especially when I was at my grandparents' house, and I loved it. I've always loved the food, and I'm, like, super experimental with food and, like, a super easy eater. So I've been eating, um, like, noodles and mamtom since I was, like, really young, and,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
um, so that's what reached me the most.
Mm.
And I think I've always, my family always reminded me like where we came from and like the story of being immigrants, especially like escaping the war and like coming into America and like how much of a struggle that is and how much they've had to overcome. So I've always known that like my family has come from a different place from like the other white kids,
I see.
and like it's always just going to be a little bit different for me and my family than for people who were born and raised in America with American, like
Mm.
family. Um, but luckily they'd already gone through the hardships so I could have a good life. I didn't really have to live the immigrant life, like I was really lucky with that.
Mm.
Um, so yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any part that is you feel that is projected on you, that is not you not feel that inside you yet?
Um, I mean, the main thing is just kind of like the stereotypes that people
Okay.
already have, like looking at me or finding out, I'm Vietnamese or even just Asian. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
growing up in California, they don't really care what Asian you are. They're just like, oh, she's
Okay.
Asian.
Okay.
Like it doesn't matter if
I
I'm
see.
Vietnamese or Chinese or whatever, right? Um, but
Hmm.
I will say that honestly, a lot of the stereotypes of Asians are good, I
Okay.
think. So for
Tell me about
example,
that.
like being in school, they're like, "Oh,
Mhm.
you're Asian, so you're smart." And I'm like,
Okay.
"Sure. Yeah, I'll claim that one. Yeah, I'm smart because I'm Asian." Um, well, there is the like bad driver thing, but I've always been a good driver, so that's never bothered me.
Okay.
But yeah, like the stereotypes, and I've just kind of played along with it, and I guess I appreciate it.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a little bit of everything that is kind of like the best of both worlds, and you enjoy that. It's looks like a privilege, but I wonder what is the struggle that is so invisible that but no one ever talk about.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there's always the pros and cons to everything, and there's definitely things that were hard about it. I think growing up, you know, I I do get the best of both worlds, but I was never fully accepted into both worlds like
Mm-hmm.
100%, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I have good examples for both sides, like the white side and the Vietnamese side. So for example, like with my white friends, I just look Asian. Like I don't talk with an accent. I don't really,
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
smell or like and my nickname for my friend group was nail salon. They just called me nail
Oh
salon.
yeah.
And like I don't really
Oh
relate to that at
yeah.
all other
Right.
than, and they kind of picked a racist nickname for everyone. So like it was just the culture of our group. And so I was okay with it and, I was fine with it. But there was that little voice in my head where I'm like, they're only calling me that because, I just have a little bit of a slightly Asian appearance or
Mm.
something. It's not really based on anything valid, you know? Um, But what hurt my feelings more was I think more like the Vietnamese side didn't accept me
Oh yeah.
because I don't speak the language, I don't really relate in any way. Like I think I'd visited Vietnam once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of understood the culture a little bit, but not to the full extent. But I remember I tried to be friends with this mostly Vietnamese group of girls in high school, like early high school freshman year. And I really think that just because I couldn't fully relate to them, like on the Vietnamese side, like they never really accepted me and they kind of stopped inviting me to hang out with them. And like
Mm.
we would hang out and then they would leave me out of a lot of stuff. And it was just so like secluded. And I felt, you know, it sucks being that age and not being accepted. And I'm like, there's nothing I can do. Like so that sucked.
Yeah, and I guess that being a mixed child is more challenging when you grow up, like a
Yeah.
teenager age or young age, where you have the need to fit in, to be
Mhm.
accepted
Mhm.
in a group. Like you feel you belong to that group, right?
Yeah.
But then when you mix, then you feel like you not belong to anywhere, and it's like it really sucks to not have a close friend to
Yeah.
be with everywhere.
Yeah.
And I heard you keep saying Asian. And I remember earlier you say people didn't even care what kind of Asian you are. You
Yeah.
just an Asian. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, what is that?
We're just clumped together. Yeah.
What is that? Why?
I don't know, I think it's just, like, ignorance, they don't understand that, each Asian has their own
Right,
culture and
right,
there's differences and stuff like that. It's just kinda like, you kind of all look the same, and
right,
so you're all
right.
the same, and so you're just Asian, which, not that I don't wanna be any other Asian, not that I don't like other Asians, but it is kinda like, well, there's more to it than just Asian. Like,
Right.
my family has traditions that are different from other Asian families, and
Mm.
we eat things that are different, we do things that are different, and, like, it's just, growing up being misunderstood, not appreciated,
Oh
and
yeah. And they don't even care enough to find out what type
yeah,
of Asian you are to
yeah.
really understand you. It's just how you fit in their system.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
wow, it's never been easy.
No. Yeah. And another thing is, like, you know, I had to tell my mom or parents to stop, like, sending me food that's not, like, a sandwich or mac and cheese, or, like,
Oh.
I was like, "Just
Mm-hmm.
don't send me even, like, something like a dumpling. Like,
Okay.
don't send me anything like that because it stinks, like, it smells different, like, it looks weird." Like, the kids thought that I was eating, like, bugs or something, and it was just like, it just made it so difficult, and I didn't wanna, like, have to explain everything because
Right.
they just make fun of you, and, like,
Right. Yeah, and I can imagine how hard it is for you because you don't want to disrespect your origin, the culture, right? You
Mhm,
live with that and you respect that.
mhm,
And you also have the pressure to fit in and don't want to always draw attention to what do I eat today?
right,
And they make fun of it. And it's
yeah,
like,
and it's like, in Asian culture, not just Vietnamese, Asian culture, like, food is the language of love,
right.
right? So your family is making all this stuff for you and trying to take care of you and love you, and then to reject that and be like, I don't wanna take that to school, like, I don't wanna eat that, like, I have to be American, I have to, like, eat what the other kids eat, which another thing is so unhealthy for you,
Mm, yeah.
like, it's just you have to, like, downgrade down to, like, their level, and it was
Yeah. Go to the level. Oh my God. Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so now we talk about when your parent marriage end.
Mm.
What was it like for you?
Hmm. It was still pretty early. I remember the separation was a long process,
Mm-hmm.
so
True.
I remember them separating for years. But since it started when I was so young, it was kind of normal to me to have separate parents.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was just that was just life for me, I guess. I don't remember what it was like to have married parents together.
I see. I see.
Um,
Yeah, but so since it's happened when you were so young, do you remember or when you reflect it now, do you think the culture affected in some way the
hmm.
divorce? You know,
Um, well, I think it was more of an American divorce, which
mhm,
from my, like, experience, or, like, what I've seen is a good thing, I think, because I think in Vietnamese culture, you have to try to stay with your partner no matter what, right? Like, the whole point of a marriage is that you're with each other until you die. So it,
yeah,
it doesn't matter if you're extremely unhappy. It's like you just stay together because that's what, marriage is.
yeah. And for Vietnamese couple, they usually stay together for the children,
Yeah.
like to for the children to have both parents, for the children to have a
Mhm.
family, for the
Mhm.
children to didn't feel sad, they didn't feel
Right.
you know mm, feel like you are outside
Mhm.
to other community, other family. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's the thing, though, like, that's kind of the issue is they stay together, and they, like, the parents, they hate their lives just for their parents together, like, or I don't have the same childhood or family dynamic that other kids do, and, like, you want to fit in, so it's like
Mm.
I should have that, but it doesn't mean it's better.
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? Because we always think that the more common, the more majority you are, like you become a white child, or in a married family, like people, your parents do married. It seems like that is more the mainstream or what people expected, and
And that's better.
yeah, it's that people
Right.
think that it's better, but it's not. Yeah, it's not. It's not about divorce or marriage. It's about how we look at it and how we go through this together. And it sounds like you yourself, and with the support of your parents, navigating all of this and going through this with a lot of fun and joy.
Yeah, they did a really good job. I will say that. Like, divorce is not always a bad thing. Honestly, most of the time it's a good thing. Like, if you need to divorce, you do what's best for you, right? And then everyone around you, when you're happier, everyone else will be happier. So
Yeah.
like, I think you can totally do divorce in a healthy way and in a way that's good for everyone. And it might be hard to understand in the moment, but especially like being older, like I cannot even imagine my parents together. And like they're both amazing in their own ways, but just, separately.
Yeah, and I feel like you got better parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my parents are better because
Yeah, they don't have to put up with each other.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you mentioned something about divorce, and that is really that is very interesting, because the next question for you is, what is the thing that you learn about relationship, intimacy, marriage, or even sex? Uh, Going through all of that, the thing that you go through.
Wow, that's a big question.
Yeah. What have the experience taught you?
I think it's taught me that, things don't have to go all the same way, like the traditional way, like one way. Like there's so many different ways to do things. There's so many options and they're all acceptable in their own way. It's like whatever works for you, And I mean, I'm glad that I grew up mixed race because I've pretty much only dated mixed, like I I like to date people from other cultures because I learn so much from them, and like we both can bring different things to the table. Um but yeah, I think just learning that there's not just one way that's the right way. It's like you can do whatever way works for you, and like
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
It's true. It's true. There is so many other ways to live, to have a marriage, and to don't have a marriage, and it's so diverse, and everything is good for you as who you are, and what can you receive and accept yourself, right? And well, yeah, I feel like this conversation is very, very helpful for women who in who been married and also have a daughter. Yeah, I feel like a lot of women, they going through marriage themselves, not only for themselves, but only they live it for their daughter, and how they want to support or even protect the daughter. And it's not like your voice and the way that you talk about it is really helpful for them to know, oh yeah, I can be happy on my own, and my daughter will be fine or even thriving through this situation, right? Okay, so again, this conversation is very rich in the way that I feel like it's really eye-opening for any woman at whatever age she is, to understand about family, relationship, marriage, divorce, and the impact of it on a child, on especially on a mixed child. And it feel like it's really reassuring.
Yeah.
if I'm not if I'm in the shoe of the woman, I feel like, oh yeah, that is so
I hope
reassuring
so.
that
Yeah.
the daughter will turn out fine, happy,
Yeah.
and even more mature. Like I've been through that and I enjoy that. And there's more to life than just trying to put up with each other and be miserable together. Yeah. So thank you, Maya, for that. It's very interesting and very insightful.
Of course.
Is there any last words you want to speak to our audience?
um, yeah, I mean, I hope that this was helpful and reassuring. And I think the main thing is just like you said, like we need to learn to live our own life for ourselves and not trying to follow the correct path or do things for other people. Because ultimately, when you do something that makes you happier, what's better for you and what's healthier for you, then the people around you will be happier and healthier. And I think we get stuck doing things that we think is the right way, or like we're afraid that our children won't understand why we need to split up or do this or that. So we just suffer in silence and do what we think we have to do. But I think as long as you communicate with your family and your child and you explain everything to them, everything, like just be vulnerable and just communicate. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and it really made me thinking, even though it's the last minute of our conversation, but it really made me thinking, like, this is really what women empowerment is about. This is what really woman ownership is about. Like Maya is the third generation of, female in the family that is really try to live, to survive, to live her own life from her grandmother to her mother and to her. And like everything turned out well, however hard it is at the beginning.
Yeah.
and 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 we support each other, and that is how we heal our generational wound and trauma of being a woman. It is so hard in the world, and Maya just tell us that it is okay to live as we want, and everything will be fine. Every other woman, every other daughter, every other woman that related to us will be fine with us. And that is so blessing. Thank you so much.
Well, of course. Thank you. It was an honor to be here. Thank you, everyone.
Great.
Yay!